This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Tracy James and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are, well, off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, Adam Upper joins me in talking about two iconic 80s movies with Predator and Pretty in Pink. Welcome!
Hello, Tracy. How are you?
Actually, I'm sick and I'm not enjoying it.
It's a good. I suppose it is a good thing we're doing this over Zoom then, because I wouldn't want to be over there just to be like, "Hey, welcome back. You're sick."
Exactly. Like it's one of these things where it's I was kind of happy about the pandemic because I realized I haven't been sick since I got COVID, which was over a year ago.
You did get it?
I did get it. I got it once, and that was like 2 years in, so I did pretty good.
Yeah,
and then I haven't been. Yeah, and then I haven't been sick for a whole year, and I'm just like, this used to be like a thing during winter that you'd get like all sniffly and just drained for like at every 2 weeks, and it was considered normal, and you should be able to function this way. And I'm just like, I'm dying. Oh my God, I don't like this. This is horrible. So yeah, I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, with me taking the subway to work every day, I'm surprised I haven't got it yet. Even with wearing a mask.
Yeah, I've been very good with wearing a mask, but I actually think I know exactly when I got sick, to be honest. I was at Comic-Con last weekend in Toronto.
Oh, you won the Royal?
Yes, I was there. It was rammed, and it made me also realize that I think I have like this fear of like crowds now, because I was like, there's too many people here. Oh my God, there's so many people here. But at one point in time, I was looking at some stuff on a table, and there was this little kid in front of me who was clearly so sick and should not have been out. And he was like, and at first, of course, I didn't realize it because there's so much noise and stuff around me. And he was just like sneezing and coughing and literally touching everything on the table. And I was just like, and I touched all of these things. I'm going to die. And I feel like that is the exact moment when I got sick.
Yeah, that'll do it,
I honestly wanted to fight their parent. I was like, what are you doing? Why is this child here?
Yeah, see how close we are in this place, man. You don't bring sick people into the event.
Exactly. So
that's why for the first like handful of years I went to Comic-Con, I always like be sick or have like a cough for like a month or longer, something. But but the last couple of years I haven't. I've gone obviously 3 years that we couldn't go, so I think I've developed a certain immunity to Comic-Con gunk. At least because I went to the Fan Expo proper last summer and this one, so at both times I was kind of expecting to be like come out and just have a cough or kind of run down or something like usual, but yeah, so surprise.
Yeah, usually with Comic-Con and Fan Expo, it's just my feet hurt for like a month after.
Yeah, you like cram like 6 months worth of walking into like a weekend.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I have a really bad back too, so I'm just like toast for like as Adam Savage always said, you need like a couple days to like unwind from Comic-Con before you go back to work.
Yeah,
and before I think I heard him say that before I went to Comic-Con, so I'm like, I can't be that bad, and then start going. I'm like, yeah, it's 100. He's 100% right.
It is, yeah. No, and especially because it's just also because of how big the places that you go to is, like where they hold this stuff. And you want to see one thing here or you want to see something over there. It's 20 minutes to walk between the two spots because of all the crowds and how far it is. Then you get there and then you have to like pull out a map and figure out where exactly the booth is or the room is you want to get into. Then you're getting like knocked side to side, and then you see something cool on a table, and then you're just like, oh, it's a adventure. Let's put it that way. Adventure.
Yeah, and like the main floor is like what, 3 or 4 floors down.
Yes.
Okay, so you got that too. And that's always an interesting setup that it actually goes down instead of like up.
Exactly. Like yeah. But I think if you're into the stuff, it's worth it. If you're not into any of that stuff, you're just you're gonna hate every minute of your time there.
100%.
Speaking of nerdy things, we both saw Jurassic Park live accidentally on the same day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because I was like standing there, just like waiting for somebody to sit down beside me, or like in the row. And I just happened to look up. I'm like, oh, hopefully you weren't standing there long for me to notice you, because I was just like,
no,
I
had just walked. I just walked up,
okay,
because I looked over and I was like, that's Adam? I should go say hi, and I just walked over because that was during intermission or something.
Yeah, because I was like kind of standing there, not expecting to see anybody, so I was kind of staring off in space, not thinking. I'm like, and then I saw you, and I'm like, I kind of came back. I'm like, oh, it's Tracy. Oh, hey.
Yep. That's how it works.
And then for like a week after, I was humming like the Jurassic Park theme. That was so good. I had been wanting to go to something like that, and like most of them was at Roy Thompson Hall. So I was like, oh, sweet, I get to go see something like this and go to Roy Thompson Hall. But the only thing that be shown is like The Last Jedi with orchestra, and I'm not paying to go see that again. So I was like, so as soon as I saw Jurassic Park come up, I'm like, oh, I'll definitely go see that with the orchestra.
Yeah, I wanted to see one of these live things for a long time. I wouldn't mind seeing at least one of the Star Wars ones for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to see like obviously one of the original trilogy or Phantom Menace just to hear fucking Duel of the Fates. Because I fucking love that. Like the rest of the movie fucking blows, but I love that song.
But then you have to sit through the rest of the movie. Like,
yeah,
you can't just show up for that part, get up, and walk back out.
Unfortunately, yeah. So like, that's why it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, and why I have that song on my phone.
Yes, no, it was a very cool experience. I mean, It wasn't like, I don't know why, but I thought that I would focus more on the orchestra while I was there. But honestly, as soon as they started, maybe 5 minutes into the movie, I was like, oh no, they're just playing the movie. And I was like, no, they're not. There's people doing this live in front of me. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like every so often I see like the bows, like the go off in my left peripheral, but I totally forgot they were playing like most of the time.
Yeah, it was really fantastic. I mean, it's shocking. Yeah, I don't know. Like I guess it shouldn't be that shocking because like to get the score for a movie, an actual orchestra would have had to play the music and all this kind of stuff and then have it laid in. But I think because they're doing it live and they did it so seamlessly, like going in and out of the scenes and where the music cuts and all that kind of stuff, it was just like, oh my God, their timing is so perfect and everything. And I don't know, it just blew my mind. I do want to see more of those again.
Yeah, I saw the a couple years ago. Saw they had like the Zelda music or do an orchestra, but it was just them. They kind of had stuff playing in the background and stuff, so that was kind of cool. But it was finally I was able to see like a movie with it too, and I missed Jurassic Park in the theater.
Yeah.
So like on its initial run, so I was so happy that I was actually able to see it like on the big screen as well.
Yeah, that's always great.
Like because sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna ask you about the Zelda one. So, like, is somebody playing Zelda in the background, or it's just like they're just running?
No, they're just playing. They're just playing, taking like songs from all the Zelda things, and they just had random stuff playing in the background. So it wasn't like they were playing the game or anything. It was just you're there for the orchestra playing the songs from the games. And I think I'm fairly certain they had like stuff playing in the background, or just had lights or something.
See, I think I would have been disappointed in that. I would have been like, no. I want to see somebody play the game and the music go in and out or whatever.
but then he'd just be like having the person like die in the same spot for like 15 times, and you have to just like play the first like 15 seconds of a song like 15 times and then go on and just kind of go like that.
Well, you have to have somebody good playing the game, not somebody bad playing the game.
Have you not played a Zelda game?
I have not. I literally have not played a Zelda game since God knows when. For a very, very long. Let's put it this way: I have not played a Zelda game in this century. That's how long I haven't played a Zelda.
I haven't played one from this century yet because I think the last one I played was the Link to the Past, whether that was for the Super Nintendo or the Game Boy or one of the two.
Or something. Yeah, exactly. That's what I would have played. Yeah. So I've just really aged myself. It's fine.
Don't worry, I did too. So.
But yes.
Do you know who we're not as old as? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That is true. Very excited about that fact. I haven't watched Predator in forever, and my God, it's a good movie.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite Arnold movie. Like, obviously, I know T2 is like the better movie, but I fucking love this movie so much. I
Uh,
probably watched it like so many times, like on TV or growing up a kid. That is probably the one I go to most.
oh no, mine is
Oh,
True Lies.
oh yeah, that too. Like True, like that was actually the first movie I remember seeing in the theater. Was like my going with my folks to the one of the theaters on George Street in Peterborough. Was
Yeah.
like going to that, and I don't. That was the only time I remember going to that theater too. So and I just going and seeing that and just fucking laughing at all the jokes and like Jamie Lee Curtis falling off the bed. It's like slipping.
I saw that in the theater with my parents too, and the Jamie Lee Curtis scene, like the dance scene. My mother was not impressed. She's like,
Yeah,
"What?
no doubt.
This is ridiculous. What is this?" I was like, "Whatever." But like 5 seconds after, when like the terrorists come in and like take them away and stuff, we forgot about it very quickly until it showed up on TV again. And she's like, "Oh my God, I forgot about this." And I was like, "Okay." No, because it's just such a good movie. Like just how they put the characters together and like just like the storyline. And I mean, my only qualm is the jump jet at the end of the movie, just kind of going up and down or whatever. That part's kind of lame, but everything else is fantastic and perfect and well done.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, and I like and then plus too, like how it starts off like with the like the thing does with like a little spaceship in space just dropping something off.
I did not remember that part. I just remembered them landing in the jungle. That's the part
Yeah.
I always thought the movie started at. And I was like, the movie was opening. I'm like, did I put in the right movie? Why does this look like aliens? What's happening? And then you're like, yeah, they're in the jungle. And I was like, okay, that was right. Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting. I
yeah,
like
because
it.
like it kind of almost blends in with like all the intro stuff, like the logo and all that stuff. So you could be like you could mistake it for that almost.
Yes, yes. But I mean, there's a reason why it's like this started like a pseudo franchise. Like I feel like Predator is one of those quote unquote series that you can't even really call a series. They just made a bunch of random movies that happen to have a Predator in it. You know what I mean?
It was like haphazardly just kind of mentioned the first one just to be like, hey, we're kind of connected.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of watching the second one, I totally forgot that they had mentioned the first one and said that the explosion was like far bigger than what it looked like. Because I think like Gary Busey said it was like 300, the equivalent of like 300 city blocks. But
Mhm.
like, I'm like, if that was the case, Arnie would not be able to outrun that in time in
Well,
the jungle.
the key is he jumped in the water, so it saved him, I guess, or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
did he jump in the water?
Yeah, I think he jumps in the water.
Oh yeah, because I just remember him just kind of like hobbling, running away and stuff. So yeah, so maybe I might have jumped in the water.
I
Oh,
don't know. But
that got me
everybody
question.
knows if there's an explosion happening and there's like a pool or water, you jump in the water and then you see like the flames go out on top of you, and then you come out after and everything is fine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Then that he actually also does that in True Lies as well.
Yes, he does. It's action movie logic. You got to know this stuff.
What was I thinking? What was I thinking? And speaking of which, I like last weekend I also showed my friends who's actually at his place now his two kids Last Action Hero, and they
Oh
actually
my
seem to
God,
like
such
it.
a good one. Yes.
Yeah, they're like 19 and 17. So I was like, hey, you guys like Arnold movies, right? And they're like, yeah. So I was like, you're gonna like this one because that
That
movie was
is Last Action Hero is an underappreciated film.
yeah,
People, I must admit, when I first saw that movie, I didn't like it either. But I was like, it's Arnie. I'll give it another shot. Watch it again. And I was like, you know what? This movie is excellent. And every
yeah,
time I watch it since then, it has gotten better and better.
because
And
I was
people
a
just
kid
don't
that
seem to get it.
yeah, because I always admit I'm not like wasn't like the smartest kid. I'm like he's making fun of himself, right? Like
Mm.
I'm like I was like first I was like I'm fairly certain that's what's going on. So like I think I saw I'm think I'm supposed to be laughing at this at the jokes I'm supposed to be like shooting like shooting the guy in the fucking closet every time and the one I always like was like when he first goes in the car and he actually changes the music on the Sony thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
because always fucking the music always changes in a fucking chase scene. So he actually did it. So that was my like kind of like side joke that
Yeah, there's actually so like in every scene.
there's so many.
There's so many little nods to different things in different action flicks and like pseudo sci-fi flicks and all that kind of stuff. And it's actually done in such like in a pretty smart way because it's just brought to like a campy movie, right? That's got like a silly concept to it. But once you actually pay attention to the actual movie and get over the campiness, you realize the like layers that are in this movie. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Just like Predator. I love Predator.
Yeah, but yeah, this definitely pays really well. What I was saying to my friend a while ago when I first said that I was doing this, I was like, I'd almost say this is almost a perfect movie because I could.
Why would you say almost and not a perfect?
Well, like that, just because I don't know. It's just I don't want to just my fear of just saying it is an actual perfect movie. Yeah, just because it's like paced really well, the characters are done well, and there's very little fat in this movie. I think
that is very true. Like, there's not a lot of like excessive exposition or anything. Yeah. They're very quick at like putting the story together, and I think I just realized too, like this is the same guy who directed like Die Hard and stuff.
Yeah,
and all of his movies are very short on fact. Like every scene seems to be like, no, this is here for a reason. This is here for a reason. This is here for a reason. Like it's there, because even like the scene where like Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers meet and they have this stupid handshake and they show the muscles. I was like, why is this here? This is stupid. But later on in the movie, you realize, like, not even that much later, but you realize, like, yes, they have a friendship, but they're more frenemies than friends because there was clearly like a falling out between but they're trying to keep, positive about it. And then you realize later on that Carl Weathers' character isn't that good of a person and he lies and stuff to get what he wants. And that's why Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't. Yeah, and that's why his character Dutch doesn't like him very much. And you're like, oh, this is where they're butting heads. So it's like, oh, this may seem stupid, but later on you're like, oh, this is why he showed this to like set up this relationship. And then you'll understand this part later on in the movie. Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah. Just fucking Arnold's fucking arm in that scene too. I was like, oh shit.
Massive.
Yeah, and I sure saved my seeing Arnie in person story till this podcast because I didn't know I was doing it.
It's okay.
But even not being that big, I'm surprised that I was able to be like, I was able to still be like, holy shit, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes. Yeah.
And actually, and I always laugh too that I was always like a god. I was like, holy shit, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. That I locked eyes with Tom Arnold and I didn't recognize him.
Maybe it was True Lies 2 and they're doing a sequel in town.
Yeah, oh fuck, man, that was the one sequel I fucking wish they would have done.
I don't know. I don't
obviously not Arnold now, but like Arnold at some point, like before, like at some point that they would have done.
Like, well, right now they have that TV show that really
but
not great.
Yeah, I heard about it, but they're just kind of redoing the movie, though. I think
not sort of, but not quite. Like they kind of redo the movie in like the first episode, but it's not. It's definitely not the same scenario at all. They keep all the names and everything. And then when the wife gets recruited, it's more of like her background and her earlier missions and like her getting training and to be a spy and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know, there just seems to be no chemistry with the whole cast. And it just seems so like, I'm doing this because I get paid to do this kind of feel to the whole show. And the stories are kind of just like, you're stretching real far for this, guys. Like I understand why you thought this was like TV show material, but it's really not working. Just no. Yeah.
But I actually saw like this movie and Happy Gilmore before I saw Rocky, so I definitely know Carl Weathers from like this from those two instead of Rocky.
Was it Rocky he was in? It was Rocky 2.
Oh yeah, I think he was in the first two because he's like Apollo Creed in the first phase. Yeah, because he fights Apollo Creed in the first one, and then they rematch, and then
Oh my
he's
god,
like,
he does fight him in the first one, doesn't he?
yeah. Then he's just kind of like, then they do that. Then like the third one, they do that very homoerotic beach scene, running around and stuff. And the third one, I think, then I think he goes with him to Russia in the fourth one, or
Yeah. There's a he fights Dolph Lundgren.
oh yeah, then he
And
killed,
they do Russia.
Then Dolph Lundgren kills him, and that's why Rocky fights him, man. That's right.
Exactly.
But have you seen any of the Creeds?
I have not. No,
No,
I
you haven't
like.
either.
I am not a sports
Oh, that's right.
movie person in any way,
Right.
so I tend not to. No matter who's in them, I tend not to watch any of them. And
Yeah.
I'm really happy other people think they're great, and they're so uplifting and all this kind of stuff. I just don't care.
Yeah.
That's just how
can't
I
get
feel
myself
about the
to.
sports stuff.
Yeah, because I haven't seen like the sixth Rocky movie with Buddy from Heroes in it as his kid.
Um,
Milo Miligo or whatever his name is.
oh, he was in Rocky Balboa. I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was like his kid, like a son or whatever, in it, like a grown-up kid, because I think that was his like first big movie after Heroes, I think, or one of.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe, or during, or just after, I think, or in around that time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. No idea.
yeah, because I think because obviously it's been other stuff, but I think that was supposed to be his like first like big movie like coming out of that or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, once you do TV, you got to break out into some movies and then go back to TV probably, which he's on right now. Company You Keep. That show actually isn't too bad at all.
And also too, I'm
Yeah.
glad to find out that I'm actually an inch taller than what Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's 6'2" and I'm 6'3".
What?
So he's like, but he's also a lot bigger than me, so at least I'm taller. Even if he's like almost 80, you probably still kick my ass.
Yeah, but then you could say, well, at least I'm not short.
It's like how many people can tell you that, Terminator?
Exactly, right? Except everybody in the NBA, maybe. But other than them,
yeah, that's like normally tall, like regular tall people, I guess. I gotta say.
exactly.
But I always think I'm like the cusp of like weird tall. I think like 6'2", 6'3" is kind of like the end of that. Then any taller is like weird tall, like 6'4" and like 6'5" is.
Really? I would say
or
I
like
would say
6'6"
be
like
higher
that.
than that.
So maybe like 6'6", 6'7" is like weird tall.
No, I think you'd have to be like very close to like 7 feet tall to be weird tall.
Actually, yeah, like the one I haven't actually seen in a while, but the one friend did back in Peterborough, he was like 6'10".
Okay, yeah, that would be weird tall.
So yeah. Then like it was like my friend and my sister's first. So like on my 19th birthday, they did the whole going out to the bar thing, and he was at the first one. So I was staying at the one bar, and he came over to buy me a beer. And I've been like 6 foot since I was like started high school. So like I was like taller than pretty much everybody then. So I was looking up at him like, dude, you need to sit down or walk away because I don't like looking at this. I haven't looked up to somebody in almost like 10 years. This feels really weird.
See,
So
this is how the rest of us feel. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, no, I have like a regular sized person looking up to me, I guess.
Exactly.
Because you see my girlfriend, I'm like a foot taller than her, and then every so often I'm like, oh yeah, I am actually really tall. I actually forget sometimes. I actually forget how like really tall I am because like all my friends are about like 6'2", 6'3" too. So I forget because we're all like the same height.
Yeah. I mean, like if there's like you're normal compared to the most of the people that you see, then you're not going to think about it until you get into the room where everybody's like 5 feet tall and you're just like, what is happening?
Yeah, if the subway's busy and I'm extending, I can like look down to like each side and there's only like a handful of people that I can see their heads and everyone else is like the same height. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that means if you were in the jungle, you might have been the first to go, man.
Oh yeah. Well, fuck. Yeah.
Predator would have taken you down.
Yeah, you like take out because they always go for the big guy first. That always sucks. But they didn't go for the minigun until like the second or third guy. I think that wasn't Jesse
Ventura. Yeah, he was the third guy to die. Yeah, it was the guy with the glasses who got killed first.
Yeah, the
girl
first
ran off.
Actually, and two, I think it was a guy with the yeah, it was the guy with the glasses, Poncho.
Was that Poncho? That may have been Poncho.
Yeah, then he is the one tie for Star Trek in this episode.
Poncho?
Yeah, he was in a Voyager episode with episode two, season two, episode 9, where Chakotay finds the symbols from his tribe or whatever.
Uh-huh. Was he like his brother or something?
Yeah,
oh, there it is.
I think he was like one of the.
It says he was a chief.
Which he was like one of the flashbacks or something, or did they find people, or I guess in one of the flashbacks or something. Yeah.
All right. Well, I got to give you a prize because you found it and I didn't. Good job.
Because I knew in the other movie I was like looking at it, like, yeah, there's nobody from this movie.
There's nobody.
So like maybe Harry Dean Stanton showed up in like a random episode, maybe.
Yeah.
So that was my one hope. That was like, yeah, no, like he just showed up in Alien. So Alien and Avengers are probably the closest to this, really.
Yeah, no, like I obviously did not look far enough because I just looked at like the people that I knew up in Predator to be like, oh well, maybe these people were and stuff. I was like, maybe Carl Weathers showed up in something. Oh, you know.
But I forget. That's what I was thinking too. Then I was like, I'm determined to find somebody just to see.
I actually thought for sure Bill Duke did something, but no.
Yeah, that's actually. I was actually thinking him too, but I think it's him. That this is probably my second favorite role that he's in, especially because the first one is the Busta Rhymes video "Dangerous." Because Busta Rhymes is so fucking weird. He's like my favorite kind of weird, so I always think about that video and watch it every so often.
I love Busta. He's awesome.
Yeah, he was like he's the weirdest guy, but he's like the good kind of weird.
Yeah. And he's at a point in his career like Snoop Dogg where he's just like, I don't even have to rap anymore. I can just do whatever the hell I want. And apparently he does is work out and do people's tattoos. And I'm just like, all right, this works for me.
I get a tattoo by Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, get him to just say like "Dangerous" or like "Give Me Some More" or something.
That's a great one. I love that one. Because that was actually on the Neptunes album, I think, not his album.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then I started thinking about him because I was at work when the Grammys were on. I had to run them on the West Coast cities. So when they had like the hip hop segment, he showed up. I'm like, oh yeah, Busta. and I started listening again.
How could you forget about Busta? You're crazy.
I know, what was I thinking? And then like when they did the Dr. Dre thing, the guy beside me did I forgot about Dre. That was that. So we had a good laugh about that too.
Love it. So back to Predator. I actually took notes on this movie, and the funny thing is, they're not even like real notes about the movie. They're just like general observations about random things. Like, for example, when they first get to the island and all the dudes are getting out of the helicopter in these like whimsical, super 80s outfits, and I was just like, what is happening here? one is dressed like he's in Miami Vice. Another guy is dressed like he's from Encino Man. Another guy is dressed like he's got like a weird biker fetish, like he was in like a Guns N' Roses video. I was like, what is going on? What is this?
Who wears a suit to the jungle?
Apparently some people have a certain style, and that's just how they want to
go. But still, like that would be like, say that I saw like John Wick yesterday. Like it starts off with like him in the desert with a fucking suit on, riding a horse. I'm like, dude, and you know in that movie he has armor in that suit too.
Yeah,
so that's gotta be fucking super fucking hot. It's a dark suit.
That is true. But as you know, John Wick always wears like. What do you want him to wear? Do you want him more like board shorts and like a muscle tee? Like I know.
that would be so fucking weird.
Right?
Him looking like fucking like Macho Man Randy Savage or something.
Exactly. It would be odd.
And those fucking wraparound sunglasses.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just walking through the desert like that to like murder somebody, and you're just like, what is going on? But I don't know. There is something better about him murdering people in a suit. What can I say?
Yeah. The dude's got style. Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
I said that. I was like, but aside from that, I did like the movie, but that was my like one critique. It was like, holy fuck. But because I think I went to the Silver Snail had a Halloween party a while back, and it went with as the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh
And I was
yes.
wearing a suit, and it was October, and it's still like super hot in there. So I was like, "Holy shit!" Like anyway, that because I've been wanting to do Agent 47 from Hitman to like Fan Expo, but wearing a suit in August at Fan Expo is gonna be fucking super hot. So that's I think that was like the main reason why I haven't yet.
Yeah, you're gonna have to walk with like your own fans or some kind of cooling system of some
Yeah, something like
sort. Yeah.
because even with the shaved head, that's not gonna help at all. So
No. Well, I mean, like
I
you see people at Fan Expo and stuff, and they've got these elaborate
yeah,
outfits that are like these giant things or covered in feathers or something. I'm just like, give me 5 minutes and I will just go absolutely crazy because I cannot handle that kind of stuff. And like a lot of people ask me pretty regularly, like, well, how come you're not into cosplay? You're so into this stuff. And I'm just like, it's the hassle and it's the pain. I'm not part of any of it. Not I don't
and,
want it.
and then too like that is too like the added anxiety of people stopping you for pictures, even if this is a good thing. You got to be get stopped every 5 seconds if I got pictures taken too. And you're just like, I'm just trying to do my thing. So, but of course, yeah. But if you're doing it, that would be expected though too. So
Exactly. I mean, like it'd be frustrating to get stopped every minute, but like you're allowed to say no every once in a while.
oh yeah, so
But yeah, there's a certain point where you're just gonna be like, fine, take a picture. I did this to myself.
but every time I go, there has been like at least like one or two like predators going around, and they actually usually look like really good. So
Yes, yeah. I mean, I give cosplayers props for like the stuff that they do.
100%,
Yeah,
100%.
a lot of them look amazing. Like a dude walked in and he was dressed as Master Chief, and it looked fantastic. And he had like lights on the suit and like everything. And I was like,
Nice.
oh my god, that looked really good. And there was what was the other one? I was actually really mad at myself. So I went to Comic Con. I went for 2 full days, and I didn't take a single fucking picture while I was there. And
Yeah,
I was
I think
like,
this time I barely took any either. Yeah, I think it was
yeah,
just with like selfies with my friends when I saw them and stuff.
yeah. But yeah, no, like there was a lot of people in really cool costumes. And there was a lot of people I was just like, aren't you cold? Because I don't know, there's like a lot of dudes that were oh, what's that guy? He literally he was One Peg? Is it One Piece? One Piece. The dude from One Piece. Which dude was it?
That was.
The cartoon, the anime.
Oh, okay,
Um,
yeah. I haven't really gotten into anime yet, so like that's probably one of my blind spots.
for years I kept calling it One Peg for some fucking reason. I have no idea, but it's One Piece. So yeah, so there are guys as One Piece. So he's literally wearing like 3/4 pants and like a ripped shirt, and that's it. And the day Comic Con was on, there was like a storm and it was freezing outside. And I'm just like, we don't have code check. How did you get here in that clothing? Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
and this time they were like weren't allowing people coming through the intercontinental entrance either. So even that, so you weren't a so you were because that's how I always got in the secret way is just going through there and just like okay, just show your ticket or wristband or whatever, and they're like okay, and just kind of bypass the line outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
this year I saw a lot more anime costumes than years before. But don't ask me to remember what all of them are. I can't.
yeah.
It's fine. Yeah. I don't know what's next.
But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
but
No, I was
but
gonna say I did have a comment about the music in the movie though, that I find in a few scenes, especially like when they first get dropped in the jungle and they're like setting up their perimeter and they're gonna start marching out, the music is for the lack of a better word, whimsical sounding instead of like, oh, prepare for danger. I was just like, where are the little fairies? Are we gonna skip? Like, I don't, I expect to see like a little fawn or like Bambi start bounding through at some point in time. I was just like, who thought this was like danger music? Like this is like happy, we're having a good time music. What's going on? That's my comment. That's it.
I don't remember that music, so I'll have to go back and listen to that one, yeah, because usually it's just the kind of like the almost Mario music I always heard when they were setting up for stuff later on. That always that is the only music I remember really,
Yeah.
other than the song in the helicopter, obviously.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, because when they get in the jungle, the music changes drastically.
But yeah,
But yeah, that's because I think that's why I noticed it so much is because of how drastic the music was, like the change in the music. And then I was like, why does this sound whimsical? But then also when like the predator was actually like killing somebody or whatever, it sounded correct. But then all of a sudden it just had this like when there's like a pause, it just felt like it sounded whimsical, like it was fun or something. I don't know, but
yeah.
that's what it sounded like to me.
I never took it, so I'll have to listen for that next time I watch it.
Yeah, and then you'll never unhear it. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
I know. I did that again. Yeah, this is like one of those movies that was like on like TV like all the time as well. Like when I was when I was a teenager, and actually it's like one of my like memories I have like for like one summer in between like in high school. I was like it was like on like Fox like in the early afternoon or whatever, and then I lived like just on the outskirts of Peterborough, so there's lots of like forests and like pine trees and stuff around, and we're teenagers and boys, so there's a bunch of forests we could just like fuck around with. So like when as I was watching this, go there, so they would do like that the time of year where like the pine cones were still like kind of green, kind of hard, so we get a bunch of that and just kind of find each other and throw at each other because we had nothing fucking else to do. So it was like kind of like by myself walking through the forest, and then like there was like a slight wind at the top of the tree started swaying and stuff. So I kind of stopped and I was kind of waiting for the predator clicking, or like the laser to show up in my chest. I was like, then I was like, oh, nothing, then kept on going. So it just made me think of that movie for a second. So I was like watching it on TV. Like,
well, you didn't have a weapon on you, so you weren't considered
oh,
dangerous.
I guess yeah. So I guess that was the thing. As soon as I heard that, I was just like to actually pause for a second, just kind of looking around. I'm like, oh yeah, it's actually not going to happen.
Yeah. But you can just tell people that you survived a predator attack. People who know, just letting you know. Okay?
Yeah, there were so many of them.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any notes for this movie?
Like the main one for this is that the heat looking vision that he has wouldn't work in the jungle, I don't think. Because it's already like everything's like super on the jungle, so like the I would feel like any like body like imaging would kind of like just get drowned out, I guess, or whatever. They were kind of blended into the background, I don't think, unless it's like super high tech or something.
But I
Or like
wonder if it's like
or is that just like one of the visions that he has? Because like at some point they said that he was able to see all the traps, unless that was just meaning he just came through the trees. So yes, I must have like he can like cycle through and has like normal vision as well, but we only saw like the heat looking vision, I guess maybe.
well, I know in Predator 2, they do a cycle through of different types of vision the Predator can do.
Oh, okay.
There is a scene in that movie where he cycles through different ones, right?
Oh, okay.
Don't I didn't rewatch Predator, don't ask me what they are, but I remember that scene in Predator 2. And but I was thinking that yes, even though the what's the real technical term for it called? I don't know, the heat vision, whatever heat vision or whatever you want to call it. It might be like in relation to other things. So like, yes, the jungle is hot, but a human body is like the living thing is hotter than everything else. So that's why that is red and everything else is blue around it, maybe.
Okay, or it's just that is because in the later movies it's kind of shown that they every time that they're like their evolution in their hunting skills or whatever, so it's like maybe heat vision, but it's better, so they can cut through the heat of the jungle and just have it just be ambient and not like just be blown out. Maybe it's just higher tech stuff than what we have, sort of thing. Maybe.
It might be.
Yeah, because I was either thinking that, or it's just one of the things that we just happen to see. Just every time we see like Predator POV, it's just happen to be like the TV looking vision.
It's infrared slash
infrared.
Infrared. Oh my god, heat vision. How can I forget it? Infrared. It's fine. Yes.
But then too, like in every other subsequent movie other than that scene in Predator 2, like even in Predators and the shitty The Predator, it shows it's basically all like heat vision stuff. Yeah.
Honestly, I like The Predator better than Predators. Just to be honest.
What?
Yes.
What?
Look, The Predator is at a cheese level from beginning to end. It's a specific level of cheese. So I can handle The Predator. The problem with Predators is that it takes itself way too seriously and then it just does a bunch of bullshit and it makes me angry. That's all. That's it. That's all I have to say.
But then The Predator, they were trying to do like 4 different stories.
Agreed. They were trying to do 4 different stories. I'm not saying no. But my thing is they kept a specific level, right? Whereas Predators, they're just like, no. Like, yes, I guess it's sci-fi and they're like kidnapped from Earth and they're in space. These are aliens.
This is the first one again.
Yeah, kind of. But like, if you think about the story and you think about the way people died in the movie, and even if you think about the Lawrence Fishburne character and like how he survived, he like went nuts and everything.
I did. Yeah, that one. I will admit that I did like that part. Yeah,
I was just like, oh, I'm just like, pick a lane. Just like pick, like if you're gonna be serious about this, just be serious about it. If you're gonna be cheesy about it, be cheesy about it. But don't do this weird like thing.
Yeah, if you want to be serious, don't have Topher Grace in it.
Yeah, or don't have Topher Grace. The reason why he's a good predator is because he's weak and he, murders people with his doctor skills or whatever. I'm just like,
that's fucking stupid. Yeah. And in theory, I should be more bad at this movie too, because like when I went to go see it in the theater in Newmarket, I accidentally watched a couple minutes of one of the Twilight movies. Because I was walking down the one hallway and I saw like the LED sign like on the sign of like, oh, Predators, and I turned into a door, but it was the LED sign for the second door, and I went in the first door. So I figured sat, and this is the reason why I always have it in my memories, because I was walking off the one side and there was like 2 seats, a dude and his girlfriend, and I went to go sit in like the empty seat in the aisle, and the dude gave me a fucking weird ass look because I was looking like me by myself in the movie. Yeah, so I was sitting there and then like the previews went through, and then what I thought was like a extended Twilight preview, but it turned out to be Twilight, so I walked in the wrong theater. So I was like, wait a minute, I'm watching Twilight. Oh, that's why that guy gave me that weird look, because I'm in here by myself.
and you ran away screaming. I get it. I get it.
So I was like, oh, yeah. Then I went in and I think I like just missed like the preview. So it's probably the same previews I saw in the other movie. So I was like, all right. Yeah. Then I just saw like Adrian Brody like falling in the parachute or whatever. So I was like, okay, I didn't miss anything. But fuck this, because that's like the most of I saw at Twilight, and I was like, oh.
I know, get out, run away,
run away. Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
I'm very proud to say I have not watched any of the Twilight movies.
Yeah,
I've thoroughly resisted.
I accidentally saw 2 minutes of the Twilight movie, or not even that. It's like I was like, there's one like 2 scenes, because it was like there's like a dock and it was like raided, and I think the werewolves attacked somebody, and then there was like wavy grass and like the 2 people were talking, and then they walked into the girl's house. So I'm like, oh, and then that's when I realized it was not a preview, like an extended preview, and I was like, oh, I'm dumb, I'm sitting here way too long. Like, this is gonna be the Predator, right? It's gonna be Predators, right?
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
And that was like what when did the movie come out, like 2010 or 11?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it was either 10 or 11, because I think I was still like newish to Newmarket at the time when I first started working at the other station.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 2. Yeah. So I'll say like August 2010. I don't say.
So you got Twilight. So that means it may have been either Twilight Saga Eclipse or Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2 or possibly Part 1.
Because that was like that was when they did the Harry Potter thing and broke up the last one or whatever.
I
think, or something.
guess.
Or because they were books.
Yes, they were books. Yes, they were. Yeah, no. I am like I must admit I have had you know when you hear about how bad something is and you want to be part of the discussion, so you're just like, oh, I'll have a look. I've been tempted to have a look every once in a while, but I'm just like, I don't think I could do this. Like, I just don't think I could make it through if I did sit and watch it.
I don't think I could before I get myself to go through all those. And there's like 5 to 7 or like 5 of them, I think, at least. There's so there's way too many to skip through in the end. And even Anna Kendrick's in it too, and that can't even get me to watch them.
There is so many people in those movies. Like, it's crazy. So there's 5 movies.
Okay, 5.
There's somebody. It's like Michael Sheen or something's in those movies.
I think so too. Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell?
I was like, I know that name. Like that's like a respectable actor guy.
Exactly. And you're like, why are you here? Oh my God. And Dakota Fanning, she said she wanted to be in these movies. Like, she begged for her role to be in those movies. She's in it. Yeah. And we already said Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
There's one other person that I was like, oh my God, why are you in these movies? I don't know. I can't look at these people's faces. Who are you? Anyways, Michael Sheen was my shocker when I found out he was in it. I was just like, what? And I only found out because they had those that meme about it. It's like me and my friends looking at like the coffee that we ordered today or something, and it's just like,
the guy where he's kind of like snooty and the 2 guys behind him sort of thing. That's what that's from.
That's from Twilight. Yes.
Fuck.
That's how I found out he was in Twilight. I was like, what are you talking about?
I always wondered what that was from, and I never figured it was from that because like that kind of garb didn't feel Twilight-esque. So I guess I never put that together. Oh,
yeah, I know, right? That's crazy. Yeah.
And then my one of my other notes too is like when they found the bodies in the helicopter, which they found. I always forget that they find that helicopter like that soon in the movie. Like after they're like, hey, we gotta find these guys, or like went accidentally off course and blah blah, and then they kind of go and they find it like almost right away.
Yeah, almost right away they find it.
Yeah, and they go up, and they go into like when they hook onto it and climb up. That always seems sketchy. Like they don't know like how well it is in the tree. Like they could a strong breeze group by could fall and explode and get them all or whatever. So they hook onto it, like several of them, and climb up onto it, and then they're like hanging out on it when they find the bodies, and they're like, that's gonna fall.
In the scene in the movie, like as they're climbing up, the whole thing is shaking, right?
Yeah.
And of course it's held in place because it's a prop and everything, but at the same time, if that was like in the actual jungle, that whole thing would just fall out of the tree, break some more branches. Like, why would you be doing this? Oh my God. Yeah.
Like hook onto one of the branches beside it and be like looking inside it and be like, okay, there's something in there. Then like, hey, can we go in or something? And then Arnie says like they were skinned alive. Like, how did he know that they were alive when they were skinned? Because he usually kills them first and then skins them, whatever. He's like, oh, they were skinned alive.
I don't know.
Or is it just for everything is just playing for like effect, maybe?
Well, maybe he's just assuming like because he calls them like barbarians or whatever. Because when he thinks it's just like the gorillas like killing them, so maybe that's just what he assumes. But I don't know. But yeah, that first scene's pretty brutal though. Yeah. Like it's like I forgot how like gory this movie is. Like the killings are like very gory and very bloody.
Yeah, it is and then Poncho with like the first guy that dies, and they kind of follow the because that's actually probably my first memory of this movie when I was probably watching it too young. When it came out is it's that scene where they find him. And he's like, did he find him? He's like, I don't know.
That part is so sad.
because the way he says he says I can't tell. The way he says it is like almost spot on for like acted really well. He's like I can't tell.
Yeah.
There they go. There.
That's one thing I did not remember about this movie is the fact that like all of like these random tough dudes, they actually give them proper personalities.
Yeah,
like throughout the story, even though all of their time on screen is actually relatively short if you pay attention, except for like Dutch, who gets like the whole movie to be Dutch. Like, but all of them get to be like full characters. They get like not like arcs really, but like they get like emotional moments, and you like understand why all of a sudden they're just like, I am gonna go ape shit on this thing that's killing my friends. Like you get it, like you understand why.
That's probably one of the big things with Predators, because it's basically the first movie almost again, basically with some twists and stuff, but they totally don't do that at all in that movie. So yeah, but still, like as I said, it like Predators is a bad movie. I'm not saying it's a good movie by any stretch, but I do like it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I like Prey best of
all of
the sequels. Prey is the best.
Yeah, definitely. And this only time I'll bring them up is the two AVPs fucking sucked.
First one is great. What are you talking about? I agree. The second one is just
wait. Which one was the first one? Was that Antarctica or the
Antarctica? Yes, yeah. Okay. Where they find like the pyramid under the ice, and the Wayland Corporation dude, who's like the Wayland, who created the company. He's like, we're gonna find it. He thinks he's gonna like live forever when he finds it or whatever. That's why he decides he wants to go. And that one is there. It's like with the Predator, it's at a specific camp level that's super cheesy, and it stays at that level the whole movie. And I'm just like, I know what this movie is. I will accept it for what it is. Thank you very much. And that's what I liked about it. That's what I wanted.
All right, because I trying to go watching these. I avoided those two, so I might have to watch that one after.
Yeah. Watch the first one. The second one is just, it's super gratuitous. Like it's just, there's just nothing really in it, and it's just like a bunch of general murdering is literally what happens, including there's a scene in a maternity ward, and all the pregnant women get like and all like it. The scene is really, really gross, actually. And I was just like, look, I understand what you're doing, but at the same time, this is just wrong, is all I kept thinking. Like it's stuff like that in the second movie. I'm just like, you guys have no like tact, when making this thing. And also the problem with it too, with like AVP2 tries to take itself very, very seriously. Like, no, this is like a serious film. And you're just like, you are so fucking full of shit. Like, it's just so bad. You're like, because too, like after watching AVP, like the cheesiness and like just the fun and like the crazy action, and like they're just going nuts with it. And then you get this movie where they're like, we're very serious and we're going to show you this gross thing, and like this is going to happen and nobody's safe. And you're just like, get over yourself. I'm okay, thank you. Yeah, like no.
All right, I'll have to give another go.
Yeah, I think this, like these movies have. Well, no, actually, I think Predator 2 is actually a pretty bad movie, but also it keeps its camp level at like a proper level.
Well, yeah, because you can't get too serious when you have Frank Gary Busey in the movie.
And Danny Glover, he's the guy who kills the Predator at the end.
Yeah.
He gets on his like ship and stuff.
Yeah. Danny Glover is great, but Gary Busey's just freaking crazy, Gary Busey.
Yeah. And Predator 2 is where Bill Paxton gets killed by the Predator. Yeah.
So that's with in Terminator 1, he gets killed by the Terminator, and then was it
Alien 2, Aliens. Yeah, So
Alien, Terminator, and Predator. Okay.
Yeah, he's the only actor who was killed by all three. That is, rest in peace, sir. But
and and I will say, like, out of the Alien movies, I actually weirdly saw Alien like Resurrection first.
Oh, okay.
Which is the fucking worst one, and I was like, what the fuck is this fucking movie? Like, how are the other movies like stuff. So I'm not sure how that happened. Then years later, I saw the first three, and I was like, "Oh, the first three are great." They're going kind of fun.
Yeah. No, I saw Aliens first. Traumatized me for years. And then when Alien 3 came out, my brother convinced my parents to rent it on pay-per-view. And I was just like, how could you do this to me? And I left, and like I watched like 2 scenes of it, traumatized me again. And then I finally watched the first one when I was a little bit older, and I was just like, oh, this is like a really good movie. And then I went back to watching them. And then that's sort of when I realized, I'm like, no, they're not horror movies. They're science fiction movies with like a horror element to them, really.
Yeah, because I guess the first one could lead more horror than what the second one is, because the second one's obviously more sci-fi because of James Cameron.
Yes.
So and then like Ridley Scott did the first one, right? I think. I want to say.
Yeah. Ridley Scott did the first one, and he did the most recent sequels, which were surprisingly bad. I only saw the first one of those ones or whatever. That was it's Prometheus and then Covenant.
Prometheus. Yeah, I only saw Prometheus, and I was like, they barely connected them. I was like, this is stupid, so I'm not watching the rest of them.
Yeah, that movie made me really angry. I was just like, the fuck is this? Like, what are you doing? And
like,
one of the things,
guys are big, tall, buff guys. Like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't make sense.
I had no problem with like the designs or anything. Like the sets were beautiful, the designs are beautiful. My problem is like, unlike the first movies, right? So like the first movie, the Nostromo, they were a mining ship that did like space mining or whatever it was. Like they were getting resources in space and coming back home. That's what their job was. They weren't scientists, they weren't geniuses. They were just out there doing their job. So you don't expect them to do science things, right? But when you have a movie like Prometheus and Covenant, where you send people who are scientists, like they are supposed to be like the leading people in their field of like biology and all these kinds of stuff, then you put them on a planet, and then the first thing they do is the dumbest things ever. You're just like, I can't take this movie seriously anymore. As a learned person whose job is to look at these things in a specific way and interact with them in a specific way, they are failing miserably on every single level. Like
the quote I will about you, like, you're the dumbest smart person I know.
Right? It's so true. Especially in Covenant, got me so mad when they landed on that planet, and then they stepped off the ship in shorts and khakis, like they're on the fucking Scarborough Bluffs going for like a little hike. I'm like, you're on an alien planet that you've never been on before. Shouldn't you take a couple of precautions? Like, what?
Maybe put a mask on.
Just wear long pants, like, so things don't bite you as you're walking. Like, what? Oh, it just made me so mad.
They could have some crazy death mosquitoes, and one bite kills you right away, and they can't.
Exactly.
And they can't get through pants for some reason.
Yeah. Oh God, that made me so mad. Made me so bad. Oh. Anyways, I can't look. Now you've got me just angry thinking about like smart, stupid people in movies, because there's like that movie Life as well that just got me so angry at one point. I was just like, oh my God, you can't have all these smart people doing such stupid things. Oh.
And speaking of like another really dumb thing, I think even though it's a cool weapon, the minigun, it doesn't seem feasible in a jungle scenario.
It doesn't. No.
Like in the firepower at the end, like where they actually uses it, yes, but like just trying to lug that thing through the fucking jungle doesn't seem feasible, because that looks fucking heavy as hell.
Well, yeah, you have to, because it's not just the gun. You have to carry the ammo, and bullets are not light.
Yeah, he has that whole backpack thing, and the fucking it's like a two-handed thing. He's just like, I'm going through the jungle now.
Yeah. I'm like, he could have been walking around with that thing for like a week. What? Yeah. No.
Yeah, like later on when like one guy had the fucking grenade launcher, like that almost seems like too big. Almost like they like white. Not like one of the things are like, should we bring it? Should we bring it? Fucking I'll bring it anyway. What the hell? Yeah. But the fucking minigun? No.
No. He purposefully packed that. He's like, this is my thing. We're gonna go.
Yeah, this is all painless.
Yeah. Oh, crazy. I did find it interesting. I think maybe this is the reason why the movie was able to be so like it keeps you like captivated, is that you don't actually see the predator until like halfway through the movie. Like
Yeah,
you hear him, people
yeah,
like I think it's Billy's the tracker, right? It's like
yeah,
he stares
yeah.
off into the distance and be
Yeah,
like, something's watching us.
yeah, he sensing it first, and then then like that, then that she sees it, and it's just like the outline and like the ice flash and stuff, and that's
Yeah.
what sets off the one guy to fucking shoot at him, and
Yeah.
then gets the blood, and the lady gets the blood and puts it on, which is green but not acidic like the alien. So I
Not
always thought that was
exactly.
interesting. Yeah, so,
Yeah. But yeah, no, like you don't see that alien until halfway through the movie, and
until
then he's
yeah
still
until
camouflaged at that point, right?
yeah
Like,
yeah,
isn't
and
that?
then I think it was like when like I forget what his name is. Like what's his face shot him, and then he's like working on on cloaks, and he's like trying to take the bullet out, I guess, or whatever. But he has
Yeah, yeah,
he's like it looks like he's like soldering his leg with what is he doing with that gun looking thing? What is that doing?
yeah.
He like
It
puts something.
cauterizes
He
the
puts it.
wound.
Oh, that's what it is. He did. He
Yeah,
gets put the thing on, and he like does the thing. And then he has like the other U thing with like looks like a like string through it, and he's like what trying to dig the bullet out, I guess maybe, or he's just
or
kind of
sew
dig
it up or something.
or
Yeah,
or or something. He's kind of digging around, and he's like and they hear him, and then like they hear him screaming, and so always like I always wondered like what the fuck's he doing in that scene?
yeah. There's a
It's really
scene
like he's
in
like
Predator 2 that's like that as well. That's really good. Yeah,
yeah, because
like uh,
I think I was like watching that the other night, but I don't think I was like got a little too high, and I was like I fell asleep like half through like more than I thought.
oh my god, you missed out on some good stuff. I'm gonna tell you that. You missed out
Okay,
some
man,
good stuff.
not too bad. Yeah, that was another one that like it would show up on TV a lot, but like it's not the first one. So I would like always like watch it for a couple minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely not the first one. Then I like turn it off
Yeah, well,
or change the channel.
surprisingly, like watching this first movie, especially a movie from the 80s that has to deal with a lot of military people, there is surprisingly very little swearing in it. And which probably is one of the reasons why it was allowed to be shown so much on TV. But they
Yeah,
just
during the
cut
day,
like
yeah,
a certain amount of like blood splatter they'd have to cut out of it. Whereas I know Predator 2 has a lot of swearing in it. Between Donald Glover, sorry, not Donald Glover, different person, Danny Glover, and Steve, not Steve Buscemi. Oh my God,
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey. Why am I getting
Yeah,
people's names mixed up? Anyways, so between Danny Glover and Gary Busey, there is a lot of like intense cussing in that second movie.
yeah. Because I think I remember like when I was living in Newmarket, it was on TV, but it was on like at like 9 o'clock or something like 8 or
Yeah.
9 o'clock. Yeah, so yeah, because you working where I am now, like there'd be some movies that were gone during the day, and then as soon as like 9 o'clock hit, yeah, like oh, it's when the cussing started. I was
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that is a thing. I forgot about that, even though I'm in fucking TV. Like, oh yeah, this is real good old network TV.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like half the time I'll watch a movie at like 2 in the afternoon. I'm like, this scene's missing, and that scene's missing, and this scene's missing. And then I'm just like, oh yeah, it's probably because this happens in that scene, so they can't show
Oh
it before 9
man,
p.m. and blah blah blah.
man, and thinking when they like do like TV edits for movies, I always think of the one that's always super glaring is the one for The Fugitive with like the Harrison Ford movie. Because you
Which
know what?
one?
It's because obviously it's like because everyone always forget it's like him and that one other guy actually got off the train and got away, right? So, but obviously it's just they obviously changed it. They're going after him because he's like the murderer and stuff, and it's like he's a star, so going after him. But there's that other guy, and it's the scene where they finally find him at the house or whatever, and they have the scene, and then he has the one like I think he has like Joey Pants fighting up against the wall. Then Tommy Lee Jones comes around the corner and shoots him. All that is cut out, but it's they're coming. They say the scene starts with them coming out of the house and Joey Pants is deaf because he shot the guy like right there, and they're hey, sorry, we got to do this sort of thing, but they cut out the rest of the fucking scene. Why show this at the end of the scene? Why not cut it when that scene was done and go all forward? But they're showing like the end result of the house raid to get the other guy.
Oh.
They,
I
like,
actually don't
like,
remember that at all.
yeah,
Yeah.
they never actually watched like all of the Fugitive on TV, but like that when it was on, I always got to that part and like, why would they fucking cut it there? That's like half a scene.
You know what's really funny is that right before we started this recording, The Fugitive was on TV and I was watching it. And I got to see what part did they get up to? It was just after the like he's jumping over the thing. He's like, I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. And he jumps over and like the cops are yelling and screaming about like, why are we doing this? He's obviously dead. And then you see him alive, and that's when I turn it off. But I don't like, I mean, I saw The Fugitive in the theater when it came out. And I've watched The Fugitive many times, but now I'm thinking about it, like I would have watched it on TV. So maybe that scene's just been cut every other time I've watched it. So it's just like not in my brain.
Yeah. So they always get to that part where it's just like him like dealing with his ear. He's like, oh, sorry about that, or whatever, but we got him, or sort of thing. Or it's like the end of the scene. Why not cut the other, wait like 2 minutes, cut all of that out, and because everyone forgets that the other guy is there, because obviously because we're going on after Harrison Ford. So like,
okay, because
just cut.
So that makes sense to me, because I was thinking like when the other guy escapes with him, I was just like, how come nobody's even thinking about that other guy? Because
I can't remember if they mentioned throughout. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, this guy, I can't remember because it's been a long time since I watched it. But yeah, they always like cut like 3/4 of that scene out, and it's like right at the end. It never made sense.
All right. Okay. So
it's like that was like the weirdest TV cut for movie. I always thought.
Yeah, sometimes they do cut some weird things where you're just like, I don't understand.
Because I obviously with some stuff, like obviously you just need to do something. You need to cut X amount of time out, so you just say fuck it, just cut random scenes, and that kind of fucks up the movie. But cut the entire scene.
just it's another half a second. Just cut it out.
It's like it's like another 2 minutes. Like fuck.
Yeah.
And then too, like the thing is like when there is just him and the lady. I always forget did she actually get a name throughout the movie, or was it just like in the credits at the end?
No, her name's Anna throughout the movie.
Anna, but did they ever color Anna, or was it just credits?
No, she's like no. At one point in time, they asked her what her name was, and she says Anna, and I think that's literally the only time it's said in the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like so it's the two of them when they're running away, and then he slides down the thing and goes in the mud, and that's how he figures out the thing.
Yeah.
If she's, because that's when they're going to the top, get to the chopper. Even if she goes there, she's just a random lady in the jungle. Like, if it's U.S. military, not in the U.S., are they really going to just pick up random lady in the jungle?
Well, I mean, she's going to. There's a specific drop site, right?
It's still like even if it's middle of the jungle, if it's random lady, U.S. military, I'm guessing they're like, go take a lady, fuck off, or maybe shoot her.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be like she shows up, get in the helicopter, let's go over there. I think it's going to be
because she's in the helicopter at the end when they pick after the bomb goes off and they pick her up. Like, I don't see them like for the movie they pick her up, but like I don't see in actual life. I don't think they would have picked her up. I
don't know. I think it depends. She spoke English. She walked over. She'd be like, "Dutch is over here," and blah blah blah. This is what's happening. Can you see the smoke? Something. Maybe,
but they're not. They're over the border, not even the country they're supposed to be in too. Even so, like it should be like a enemy spy or whatever too. Maybe so. Like I always thought that was weird that they actually did pick her up.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I don't think this is a movie that you want to analyze in any way.
True enough, but I think I was it was one of the things I was actually looking at this movie a little more than I would regularly watching it.
Yeah,
Then there was another thing that Billy said earlier in the movie that I actually had to rewind to put the closed captioning on. It was like something that didn't make sense. He said like I wouldn't trust like where they were trying to figure out how to get away because all the after the raid on the enclosure or encampment or whatever.
Yeah.
They like Billy says like I wouldn't trust that I play with a broke dick dog. Like what the fuck does that mean?
I have no idea.
Because I was like I think I probably always I heard it and just kind of never paid attention. I was like, did you actually say that? And maybe around it, and I heard it again, and actually turned the caption on, the CCs on. I was like, oh, you actually did say that.
I honestly think it might be a rape joke, to be honest, which is gross. But yeah, I don't know. I think somebody at some point in time thought that was funny.
Yeah, so that does make sense. Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah.
but yeah, so but I okay, no, okay.
Yeah. Like towards the end of the movie, like when like Arnold gets covered in mud and stuff. Like I said, this is not a movie you want to analyze, but I started analyzing it, which was a bad thing. So that I just started deleting about like whatever I was writing. I was just like, yeah, but if the mud's on his skin and he lets it dry the way he's letting it dry while he's doing all this stuff, then the mud would be hot. So then the predator would see him again. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Tracy, you need to stop doing this. And then my line after that was like, ooh, after that mud treatment, his skin will be flawless. That was my next note. That this is what I do apparently.
Yeah, that was a good mud peel right there.
Exactly. And I was like, even like when he's doing stuff and like he built a fire at night, I'm like, you know, the alien sees with fires, so he's just gonna come attack you while you're setting up because of fire. But then I was like, where's the predator? How come the predator's not attacking while he's doing his stuff? Like, I don't, again, don't analyze this movie. Just watch it, enjoy it, whatever. It's good. Just yes, it's okay.
Yeah, because and then too, like it's like when they get separated, it's like afternoon, then it's nighttime right away, right after he falls in the lake and gets muddied, and then it's like nighttime, like.
No, there's a little bit of the start of the montage is still kind of, it's like twilight, and then it's dark again.
Twilight brought up again.
Oh no. And then like one of the best scene in the movie, I think, is the part where he's done his like mounted his jungle scream to attract the alien back to him or whatever. And he's covered in mud, and all you see is like it's a close up of like a tree and like Arnold's face kind of like peeking over the side, and then you see like the alien in like his like camouflage, like because the background just starts moving and it's like right behind him, and then you see like Arnie's eyes just like get wide, like holy shit,
yeah,
and that is like the best scene.
And I actually like that scene too because every time I feel like most movies, if they have like full face like mud or something on it, you can tell they have goggles on because under the eyes it's always fucking like super white or the skin tone or whatever. But with him, it was like totally covered. It was just eyeballs that were not covered. So it actually stuck out for me because that always bothers me. Like when I see that, they're like, just cover that little fucking 2 square centimeters of fucking skin. Just extra little wipe with the finger, just be like, Dook.
Yeah, but just right across.
Yeah, but there's always fucking not covered up like that. Always, it sticks out every single time I see something. And that's why it stuck out. And I'm like, hey, they actually did that with this movie.
Yeah. And what's cool too about all the scenes afterwards, like, because that whole fight scene is at night ish, and he's covered in mud, and you kind of have a parallel between him and the alien. Like, because when the alien is camouflaged, the only thing you could see is his eyes when it flashes.
Yeah.
But when he's fighting the alien doesn't even have his helmet on anymore. All of a sudden, like Arnold Schwarzenegger's the alien, and when he opens his eyes, like I don't know how they did this or whatever, but his eyes are so emphasized that it's almost like he's wearing the mask now, and his eyes are like flashing. And I was like, oh, that's a cool juxtaposition between the two. Who's the real predator now? Like, oh, so good.
You're one of these son of a bitch.
Right? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can analyze those parts of the movie. That's like good and cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll have to watch that scene again too. Yeah. So let's look at that time.
Yeah. So, and my last note for this movie is the Predator's a really sore loser because he loses and he's like, I'm gonna blow everything up.
Yeah, he's like, he starts laughing. He's like, fuck you. I lost, but I still win, so fuck you. Stupid. I come to your planet, you beat me. How dare you?
Exactly. I was just like, what? But I wonder if that's like a thing where it's like the predators don't want other alien, like other beings to have their technology. So if you die, you have to make sure everything is destroyed. Maybe.
I guess maybe.
I prefer thinking about it like he's a sore loser, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's definitely So they can steal our stuff, but we can't have any other stuff. Because in the second one they give him the gun. They give Danny Glover.
Yes, as like the souvenir or whatever.
Yeah, which I think is was that supposed to be the same gun they had in Prey or similar? Like one of the handguns.
It's similar, I think. Yeah, because it was like it's an old
do,
timey
yeah,
turn of the century gun thing. Yeah,
so do you think that was supposed to be like that, like attached to that sort of thing? Do
I
you think?
honestly had not even thought about it. So possibly.
Yeah, and too, like that is might be shitty, but do you think big also too that like with they kind of connected to with Billy because he's kind of assumed to be like it kind of looks like First Nations or kind of sort of thing. Do you think that was on
No, I
purpose as
don't.
well,
I don't think that was on purpose
or
at
sorry, just
all.
coincidence? Okay, so I was just okay, so
No,
kind of almost shitty.
no. I think Billy
Or
was
just
there as a
just
tracker. That was it, and it
just
was
just coincidental. I'm looking
yeah,
too much into it.
yeah. I think so.
Okay.
But like, I think using Native Americans in Prey was very specific.
And
Because
then
especially
and
for
then
the time period and stuff. Yeah.
and then too, I think with also that too, like with how she was hunting and again she was in the trees, that may have been why the Arnold Schwarzenegger was kind of using the trees and stuff. They kind of, I think that's when they set up, do like the initial setup, and then like Bill Duke kills like the warthog or whatever.
Yeah.
So and then with that they come in, he steals uh Jesse Ventura. So they missed all the traps and stuff. So they think that he's using the trees. And I think that's when I think it's in there is when they figure out that he's using the
The
trees. I think
trees.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that was probably more on purpose that way with her,
Well, I mean, I think
or I'm just looking too much into it.
you might be looking too much into it, but also with like a lot of these prequels and stuff, they're very good at retconning things.
Yeah.
So just the fact that you thought about it, somebody might be like, "Yeah, yeah, that's totally what I was thinking for sure." Yeah,
Well,
yeah, no, I don't. Unless it's like for me, unless it's obvious, I often think it might be coincidental because it's very easy to like, connect two lines of things that are slightly similar in some way. Um, but I don't know. Some of it's probably obvious and some of it's probably like very much on purpose. And there's probably some article online somewhere that points out to every single thing that points to the stuff that's in the other Predator
that's
movies.
like connected to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right.
There's somebody already doing all the research and asking all the people the questions and stuff. It's happening. But yeah, I do think I need to rewatch Prey though. I really enjoyed that movie.
I think I had it started like a while ago on my Disney Plus, and then after I watched Predator, I finished it up. So it was probably like about halfway through. I think it was just before where it's like the part with like the bear when it goes into the beaver the dam thingy, and then
Yeah,
it kills the bear, and then went on from there.
yeah.
So I caught up with it.
That's so good.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was really good. I
Yeah,
was like happy. I was happy that there was like a new like decent Predator movie when it came out.
yeah.
But
I mean,
I would have liked to see it in the theater though, because it was like straight to it was straight to
it's
streaming.
straight to Disney Plus. Yeah. No, I think actually they missed out on an opportunity with that movie because that is like because of like some of the spaces and some of the cinematography in that movie. I think that would have been a really great large screen movie. Like I think it would
Yeah.
have been like a really good experience.
Yeah. I think the only thing that may have suffered is like even though it was really good, like the CG animals like would have been a little more obvious on the big screen.
Would have yes, yeah.
Yeah, but again, they were still like the rabbit and the fox or the coyote or whatever. I guess whatever
Uh-huh.
was pretty good. But then once the or the wolf or whatever the fuck it was, once it started attacking the predator, it kind of
Yeah.
went out a bit more. But still, it was still pretty good though, nonetheless.
Well, my
I
thing
thought.
with Prey though is like I feel like their marketing campaign suffered a little bit because for like a while, like the first time I heard about this movie, it's just like, oh, it's a Native American movie and like it's about like hunting and stuff. And I was just like, who the fuck wants to watch that? Nobody. And it wasn't until like a week before the movie came out and they put out like one final trailer. And I was like, it's a fucking Predator movie. And then I was like, I have to watch this. And I really think they should have put the hint about the Predator being in it earlier on. Or maybe I was just too slow to figure out that it was a Predator movie. But I don't know. But if that hint of it being a Predator movie wasn't in there, there was no way I was going to watch that movie based on their advertising.
I think because I think it was the last one actually cemented that it actually was. Yeah, I think too. if I remember correctly.
Yeah. But definitely, like I think out of the Predator movies, like the first Predator is still the best one, followed by Prey, followed by AVP, and then the other four can go in whatever order you want because I don't care about them that much.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check out the AVP. I'll have to rate that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It is not like a cinematic wonderland or anything. It is just pure cheese and some of like the best like cheesy action stuff, and you're just like you just have a good time watching it.
So it's a me sort of thing. You know it's a bad movie, but you like it anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. I'll still get you to watch the Hulk one of these days.
Okay.
I actually maybe watch it. but then a movie that I thought I had saw, but watching it, I'm fairly certain I had watched this movie. I just totally forgot with Pretty in Pink.
So you've never seen Pretty in Pink before?
If I had, I've forgotten it because I remember that I'd seen 16 Candles, but like I don't remember like the entire movie. But I 100% know I have seen it before, and I just figured it was probably around the same time, and I just forgot. But like watching the entire thing, nothing came up that was like, oh yeah, I remember this scene. So I'm fairly certain I haven't seen this movie before.
Yeah, I mean, I had definitely watched this movie before. Because I own it. I watched it at some point.
You watched it once before.
Yeah, and I would have definitely watched it before I bought the movie. Yeah. But the thing is, watching it this time, I haven't watched it in like 15 years or so, or more easily. But watching this movie this time, I was just like, I don't remember half this story. And B, why do I hate everybody in this movie?
Because the main thing with this movie always heard that like everyone wishes that she got with Ducky at the end.
Ducky's a horrible person.
Yeah, I was going to say Ducky fucking sucks.
Oh my god!
Like he almost redeems himself then as a friend, but not as a related something to date. But like I kind of as a friend, he's like, oh, I show up to be your friend date for the thing. But the rest of the fucking movie, he sucks balls.
He's so obnoxious, and I don't like. Honestly, watching the movie, I don't even know if they're friends. Like they just live near each other or something.
Yeah,
like,
and he's just always hanging around. He's like, "Hey, can I admire you later?" And she's like, "Okay, like you're so funny, Ducky." Like, no, you. And then he goes and talks to those two girls, and he's like, "Hey, let's get you pregnant by the end of the year." I'm not good with girls, but I'm fairly certain that's not how you pick up chicks.
No, it was so gross. But I don't know why, but I thought Ducky was like either like the quiet best friend, kind of thing. And then at the end, he's just like, why won't she pick me? And he realizes blah, blah, blah. But no, he's just an obnoxious blowhard who hits on her continuously or tries to, and is just mean to her when she rejects his advances. I'm like, she's allowed to, just because you like her doesn't automatically mean she has to like you. That's not how it works.
That ultimate friend zone thing. Yeah, Ducky, he's not good. Yeah, he's definitely a friend zone. Not that I like using that as a thing, but it's that one of the closest thing that he's in. And he's just like, hey, just let me date you, and it'll show see that I'm a good guy. But like, no.
I honestly don't even think he's friend zoned to be I said,
or he thinks he is or whatever. So
yeah,
he fucking sucks. Yeah, I don't like Ducky. Yeah, so like first like 10 minutes of this movie, I'm like, this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah, I honestly believe that like he lives in the same neighborhood as Andy does, and they've just been around each other since they were kids, and she just literally puts up with him. Like she's not friends. She doesn't really want to hang out with him that much, but he's just always like, fucking there.
Yeah, it's like the kid from around the block that's always around sort of thing.
Yeah. So, and I was just like, oh, you're such a tool. Go away.
So I guess like with the people that always say that they wish Ducky, like I guess that they feel he redeems himself like totally at the end. I guess
he does not.
I'm not saying he does, but like maybe is that the thought then? I guess maybe.
I think at the end of the movie when he shows up and is like, well, I'll be your date for the prom, and then is like, oh, I'm gonna let you go with the guy that you like, that it's just like, oh no, it's him realizing that like it's him redeeming himself. I'm like, is it though? I don't think it's him redeeming himself.
no, not like maybe he realized that he sucks and stuff, and then maybe it's a start of him doing it, but he doesn't redeem himself at all.
No,
But
I also don't even think like the guy that she ends up with, what's his name?
Blaine, I think
Blaine.
it is.
Yeah, like I don't think he deserves forgiveness either. Like I don't understand why they end up together at the end. James
Yeah,
Spader plays like a good asshole,
yeah,
quote
like
unquote best friend, but
yeah. He
no.
was definitely like the rich asshole guy and stuff, and like I felt that yeah, like Blaine should have like answered her or give her a good excuse, but he wasn't nearly as bad as if he was like James Spader-esque, then yeah, 100% fuck him. But like I felt
Yeah.
yeah, at least he was like, hey, I actually like her or whatever, instead of just being like, hey, she's just a chick, so let's try and fuck her or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
He should have like stuck up for her stuff at the party and stuff, or like being like, hey, like sorry, like after a couple of when she called on a couple of it, and yeah, you can totally tell it was like a high school thing. She's like, hey, I called you 3 times and I'm pissed now instead of like I've called you like for like a week or whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess even that issue should have
But calling him
returned
three
the
times probably was for the whole week and didn't get back
phone.
to it, to be honest. Like that's this is the 80s, man. You call someone's house, you have to talk to like their parents and be like, "Hey, it's me again." Yeah. And touch
Yeah,
your set. Like it's a whole thing. It's a different
whole different.
experience.
Yeah, I forgot about the old
Yeah.
timey phone things. Yeah, so I guess yeah, but still yeah. So but yeah, he does. Yeah, he don't. Yeah. If he was definitely more like James Spader, then yeah, I would have been like, yeah, I
Mhm.
guess, yeah, not good for him. But like, he wasn't as bad as I thought, or yeah,
Yeah, he
I
wasn't
don't
he
think.
wasn't as bad as James Spader for
Yeah,
sure.
but I guess that's a high bar with him, though.
Exactly. Like it's but he didn't really do anything to make himself better. Like
No,
he didn't really change. Yeah, he sort of like apologized in like an offhanded way, and then he told Steph, which is James Spader's character at the end, quietly to just pseudo like fuck off or whatever. But he was still making excuses for the people he knew. He was still making excuses for who he was and stuff. And I'm just like, well, then you're missing the point. Like, she's not asking you to make excuses for yourself. She's asking you to accept her for who she is, and you still haven't accepted her for who she is. So
no.
it just doesn't make sense to me.
And then to like when when they're at the bar scene, do you think uh Dice let her in just because he knew that Ducky was trying to pick her up? He was like, hey, just give her like an hour by herself, just to
Maybe
keep
that's
her
what it was. It was just
because it was a bar and she's it said that she was only 18 and it's in the state, so like isn't like the drinking age like they have to be like age of majority, like 21 to be in
21.
a bar. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So like that's like, and then he said like, hey, why don't you ever let me in? Because I guess I would you assume they're the same age.
Yeah.
So do you think that was the thing? He was just kind of being like, hey, go in so he could at least have like
Well, I mean, it's a
a
club.
party for a bit.
You're gonna let the pretty girl in and
Yeah,
not
I
the
was gonna
dorky
say.
kid.
Yeah,
So
so I guess yeah, so maybe that's the thing. Yeah, because I guess I was like the lady from Ghostbusters was there too, right? So I guess she could
yeah,
just be
Annie
like, hey,
Potts.
yeah, she gets to be like, hey, yeah, she's of age, just she's with me, sort of thing, maybe.
Well, I mean, I know she wasn't in high school, so she owned the
Oh
record
yeah,
store and
yeah,
like she was like a proper adult. So yeah, she was
yeah.
allowed to be in there. That was
Yeah, so,
fine.
yeah, I know, and like when I was like first watching this, I like forgot that she was at the record store. So like
Yeah,
later on, I was like, who is this lady? I was like for a second, I'm like, is she her mom? And I was like, no, that's definitely not her mom. Because I
definitely
totally
not her
forgot.
mom.
And
Yeah.
then I just I started again like yesterday, and I was like, okay, yeah, record store because she was stapling the records to the ceiling. And I was like, don't put staples to a fucking record.
That's one thing that I hate about like upcycling and all this kind of stuff. Like there's a lot of art based on like old books and like records and stuff where people will like, cut and fold pages of like an old book to make it look really pretty. And like to be honest, it looks very nice. But every time I see like a book ruined or like a record ruined or something like that, I am just like, what did you do? I don't care how pretty it looks. What did you do? That's how I feel about it. It just drives me crazy.
You're breaking the things. Don't do that.
Exactly. Like what? Oh, I'm sorry. You folded how many pages and cut a heart into it for what reason? No, not
or,
allowed.
or the one where they actually like dig out like most of the book or something, and they open it up and there's like stuff, and you're like, no, that's like all the
Yes.
book. Is there like nothing left in there?
Or like they like melt a record so that it's like a candy bowl or something, and you're just
uh,
like, oh my god, what did you do? Like I
no.
don't care if it's like Rico Suave. It's still a fucking record of music that you need to keep forever. What is wrong with you? Oh,
Go.
Suave.
Suave.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I still I always think about that fucking stupid ass like dance move he has like in there, and it's like hair's bobbing and stuff. Every
I'm
so
so
often I think
bad.
about it. I'm like, why am I still thinking about this? Like
I
there's
actually
more.
Yeah, I don't even know why Rico Suave popped into my head because I haven't thought about that man in like a long time. But when I thought about like sad record that people might throw away, I thought about Rico Suave. I'm really sorry.
And then I immediately went to the song. So if anybody else is singing that for the next week, I apologize because
Well,
I'm going to be now.
and you're welcome.
Yeah, it's taking over the Jurassic Park theme song.
Theme song.
Yeah.
No, you gotta like mix them together somehow.
Rico.
Suave. Yes, exactly. You know what we're getting at here.
It could work. I can workshop this. Yeah. So
We
next
can
time I come
workshop
back,
it. We could put it together. Yeah. You know, somebody's gonna drop a beat on like SoundCloud or something next week. It's gonna happen. Okay.
and one
And
of those
just
like random.
remember, get them to get your like your monies from that. Okay. Like that was my idea. Let's do this.
Yeah, one of those like YouTube mashups. They do those songs really good together. Yeah, do like the Jurassic Park and yeah.
If I
I'm down for
find
that.
that anywhere, my mind would be blown. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh, and to go back to Predator for a second, did you see that thing I tweeted at? Yeah, it was like the Predator opera.
I'm sorry, there's a Predator opera.
Oh,
I am sorry, what?
yeah. It's like it's on the YouTube. So I can't remember who I can't remember who it is. So I can't credit them. But yeah, it's like it's kind of goes along with like the plot. And it's like he's built. Yeah, this goes along with like the plot of like the originals, their first Predator movie and stuff. Like it's really good.
Okay, well, I gotta go find this tweet so I can look
Yeah,
this up. Oh
yeah.
my god.
I think it was earlier today, or probably like last night or today. So I guess so.
I will. That is something I will track
Yeah,
down and post for the listener.
yeah. I think they'll definitely like it. I can say definitely. Yeah, you have to like watch the movie because obviously they go through like the plot of the movie pretty good. So
Wow. Okay.
mysteries, watching and rating.
I mean, I would love to be in the
Yeah,
audience to watch that play. That's for sure.
and he's doing like an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice or whatever too, but it's still pretty good. He's doing it singingly, so it's pretty good.
Love it. Oh my god. I know what I'm doing after we finish this recording.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that up earlier, so I need to add you.
Oh, look,
because I knew you'd like it.
the fact that you remembered is very key to all of this. That's what we need. Oh, again, what my first note for this movie, like Predator, is a fashion note for some reason. Like they walk into like the high school and I'm like, why is it that all of the clothes look outdated, but also I think I've seen all these people walk down the street lately.
Yeah, people are loving the 80s now, yeah.
Yeah, they're we're doing full circle, man. Everything's coming back.
Like I vaguely remember the 80s. I don't remember it being that great, but I was also like a kid, so I don't know what I know as a kid.
I mean, they were the 80s. It's just neon and puffy shoulders. That's all you need. It's fine. What else? Oh, and the scene in the library with with Blaine talking to her on the like computer. I'm like, what kind of fucking interface is that? There's like, it's not even really an interface. Like there's nowhere you're typing into. There's no cursor. There's no nothing. And I'm just like, what is this? What are you trying to show?
Then later on, she's like, "Hey, that was a cool trick when they did like the text, like the like little cartwheel or whatever." And then it kind of like it was like turns out to be him.
Yeah.
Maybe you think of that weird interface that they're using in like Jumping Jack Flash with that Whoopi Goldberg movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like how do you what is this you're using to talk to each other? It's some random like text thing. Doesn't make sense.
Exactly. I thought that was very like weird.
And this movie was really weird about being like, hey, like the people with money and the people that don't have money like don't hang out. I thought that was kind of weird. That always seemed to be like if they were hitting
No, that's
it
not a weird thing.
It was
That's
an actual thing.
That's a very actual thing. Like,
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
it goes back to like cliques and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, you're a jock, you're a rich kid, you're a poor kid, you're a this, you're a that. And I think there's people just generally have ideas about people on both sides, you know, like, you know, rich kids hate us because we're poor, and poor kids hate us because we have money and they can't do anything, and they're lame because of this, and blah blah blah. I mean, like that part, like I understood. Um, and sometimes people can just be mean, like especially like the
I
girls
guess
talking about
it
like
is.
Andy's like outfits, like where did you get that? Like
Yeah, like
garbage, you
is
know.
yeah, like a five and dime. Is that like an actual like store, or is it just like or is that just like or just like a term?
A five and dime is a term that comes from like a
Or
specific
is it? Okay, so
thing,
it's
but like a five and dime is like a dollar store
okay.
essentially.
Okay, so yeah, I was never actually because it's like what is like a Bruce Springsteen song or something too, like
Yeah.
or something. I think or
So a five and dime is a store selling a wide variety of inexpensive household and personal goods. Historically, it's a store where all the articles were priced at 5 to 10 cents. So that used to be a thing. So it's yeah, essentially it's like a dollar store,
it's all,
but
yeah, like
you know,
yeah,
back in the day.
yeah, before inflation really kicked in.
I know. Nothing's even a dollar at the dollar store
Oh,
anymore.
no.
You're like, holy fuck. Like half the time I go in there, I'm like, why is this $3? This is the dollar store. But I must admit, the dollar store now has much better things than it did when I was a kid. And people aren't embarrassed to go to the dollar store and buy stuff anymore. They're like, no, this is where I get the cheap stuff for like crap that I need and blah 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 blah. It's fine.
Yeah, they actually one of the things I noticed that they actually sell like the DC trades to dollar stores now too. I picked up a couple.
Yeah, they sell
Yeah,
a
so,
lot of random things, but they're not a dollar, like I said. Like even if they sell those trades, they're not like $2. They're still like $10 each and stuff.
yeah, and it's one of my also too. It's like one of my favorite like background jokes in Futurama, where
Mm-hmm.
like the episode where they go to the like the spider planet and steal all the silk and stuff. So they have like the surplus. So like Richard Nixon's head gives everyone like $300. So like so they're walking down the road. And it was like a 99-cent store, and they have like a crane lowering down the sign that's like 299 and 99-cent store instead. And it's covered and it's covering the 99-cent sign in the store.
Yep. I think in the next couple of years we won't have dollar stores anymore. There'll be $5 stores.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So that's it. That was always when I see that I watch that episode, I always laugh at that joke because I always happen to see it in the background.
Oh, Futurama. There's so many good
Yeah.
jokes in that show.
I love that show so much. And another thing too, like I want the background stuff is that is the episode where Fry gets the stomach worms.
Oh my
So
God,
yeah,
yes.
it's so they're at that the truck stop and it was oh fuck what was the joke? Oh, it was like it was like the three signs for the gas. And it was like light matter, dark matter, was a matter. And then there's like then it's like then there's the two things with like gas and there's like gin and tonic whatever and then there's just like filling himself up with it.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
I love that. Yeah, okay, we need to get off of Futurama because we'll just all just start talking about that.
Because it's such a good show.
I love it so much.
It's so good. Yeah. What else? Yeah, half of my comments is about Ducky being obnoxious.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
like one of my Ducky's obsession with Andy is kind of creepy. Are they actually friends? And then it's like I didn't remember Ducky being this obnoxious. And then it's oh my God, why is she forgiving Ducky? Like these are my notes. I just hate fucking Ducky.
Yeah, then he was talking to her dad, and he was kind of don't love her, dude. So he just kind of move on. I don't think he was picking up on that at all. Then he was also talking to the dice at the thing, and he was like, "Hey, you never let me in. I want to hang out with her." And he's like, "Hey, man, maybe she doesn't want to hang out with you. That's why. Why do you think she comes in? It comes here knowing that I will let you in."
Yeah. And
So
he
that's what made
obviously
me think
doesn't get the point.
no, 100% no. So that's why I always thought that he was keeping him there on purpose. And he was kind of telling him that he's like, I'm keeping you up on purpose because obviously she doesn't fucking like you. You're a
Yeah.
dumbass. I'm keeping you out here.
Yeah, and if she wanted him in there, she would have been like, "Hey, just let my friend in. Let's go."
Yeah.
And
So
that's
that's why
all
I
it's
always
yeah.
that's why I always thought like even though that she was like 18, that he was like, yeah, just go in just because you get away from him for like an hour just to because we keep an eye on you or whatever. Just don't drink too much. Just don't get
That's so
messy.
true.
We'll be fine. I got you covered.
Exactly. You know.
Yeah, one of the good bouncers actually, and weirdly enough, that's nice. That's actually nice.
I don't know. Like I also found this movie super choppy. Like it just kind of like jumped all over the place, which frustrated me a little bit.
it wasn't like really much of a. I guess with teenage like high school things, it wasn't like much of a story really to it. I found.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing I've realized in rewatching a lot of John Hughes movies. It's not that I don't like them. It's that I find they're like he's I don't know, like I understand teenagers are jerks and everything, but like you can still make at least one of them nice or likable or understandable, you know? Because
Yeah,
even
because I
like yeah.
think that like most likable person was her dad, and he was that they kind of was portrayed as a lazy bum that didn't have a job.
Yeah, and Annie Potts' character,
Yeah,
who I really liked her character, but she doesn't really do anything, and at the end of the movie, she changes her whole personality for some guy, and you're just
she's
like,
pretty flighty. Yeah,
yeah,
like
and I was just like, why are you doing this? Is
yeah,
this necessary? But she seemed happy, so I was okay with it.
yeah. And
But
she
even
knows who
like,
she is, I guess maybe. So
yeah. But even like Andy, like you're allowed to be insecure about yourself and stuff, but and she's trying her best not to change herself for anybody. But at the same time, every time she does anything while she's being herself, she's just like, well, why am I doing this? Why am I like this? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, really? You're a senior in high school and only now you're contemplating this? You should have contemplated this like the first day you walked into high school. Everybody made fun of what you were wearing. Ugh.
and
Also,
the worst part of all is there's no Shermer, Illinois.
right? Oh my God. Oh, horrible.
That was like one of my favorite stories from that was Dogma, I think, wasn't it? I think when they're on the train or in the
Yeah.
or is it chasing Amy in the restaurant?
Well, technically, at the end of chasing Amy, they're going to find Sherman, Illinois,
Yeah.
and
Oh, okay, yeah,
then
sorry. Okay,
in
so it
the
was a
in
Dogma
the
in the train.
comic book, chasing Dogma, which is in
Yeah,
between the two, they
yeah.
get there and they're disappointed, and they show up in
And
the
the
beginning of
Dogma ends.
Dogma, and they're just like, it doesn't even exist.
Yeah, that's when they have it. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a full through line there.
So while I was watching this, I was like, oh yeah, this is one of the movies that they're referencing because it's John Hughes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Kevin Smith is obsessed with Canada, John Hughes, and Degrassi. So these are things. And apparently hockey jerseys. It's fine.
And maybe just like it likes the way they say a boot. like
Who doesn't like talking about a boot? A boot. That's fine. We're allowed to say this, guys. We are allowed to make fun of ourselves. Thank you very much. It's
yes, but
good.
once you do it, no bueno.
Yeah. I do have one question though. So remember there's a part in the gym where she's there with like her friend who also shows up at like the bar where Ducky can't get in. And
Yeah.
then but at the part where she's at the gym and they get like sent to the principal's office or whatever for telling some girl she get her like tits burned off or whatever. What happened to her friend? Because her friend was interesting and seemed very supportive and very nice. And then, like, after that scene, she doesn't show up in the movie ever again. What happened to her? I would have preferred her to be in the movie more than Ducky.
Actually, still about her. Yeah. To be honest, yeah. So I'm not sure what happened to her. Maybe she got the detention and has to go with the Breakfast Club and go hang out with them.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Now that you mention it, I didn't realize that. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that is interesting.
I was also very confused at the timeline of this movie because I could have sworn the beginning of the movie was like, oh, we're graduating next week. But then she calls him 3 times, asked out on dates, gets asked to the prom, dumped from the prom, makes an outfit, sees her friends, has her heart crushed, and then it's the prom. I'm like, that seems like a lot for a week.
Yeah, but also it's like a high school week, so like I suppose that you could get your heart broken in a week.
Yeah, but with all this stuff that actually happens in the movie.
That does seem to they're great. Like, they're like a couple months maybe or something, but not like definitely not a week. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to like go back to it and I'm like, did they say week? But then I was like, this is not good enough for me to rewatch. I was like, ugh.
Because it kind of starts off with her talking about trying to make something for the prom. Right? I think it was fairly close to the beginning of the movie at least.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so it's like so prom's like brought up like fairly soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then did you ever end up going to prom?
Oh yeah, no, I went to prom. I did not. I went stag, but I went with like a few of my friends, and one of my other friends was stag. And then we just hung out together.
I just totally thought of Gandhi there for a second. I apologize.
What, that I didn't go to prom?
No, like Gandhi, you know, like we was like going stag because he didn't have a date. It was like
from Clone High.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where all of them were into separate limos so they could go out at the top of the limo going like,
we're going, yay! So.
Yeah. Apparently that show might be actually finally coming back.
Yeah, it looks like it's I saw that it got announced like a while ago. It looks like it's actually going to come through. Yes, yeah, they got everyone except for Gandhi coming back.
God, I hope that comes back.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Speaking of like another movie, the show something that's coming back is Undergrads. Is that still a thing?
I actually have no idea. Hopefully it is, because that would be awesome to see.
Yeah, because I loved that show when it was only the one season, and like that's how I'm kind of aware of you because I work with our mutual friend or whatever was Sean. I remember him saying that because he knew I was a fan of it.
Yeah,
and I hope that fucking show comes back because I love that show.
Yeah, it was a great show, and when it ended, I was really upset. But then it was like 2 years after it finished, they had put out a thing saying like, well, the show ended because they had put up like an online like survey, like, should we bring this show back and blah blah blah. And then nobody said anything about it, but that was also because nobody ever known that thing existed. So how could they actually like, because
that would be like really early internet.
Yeah.
So it's because because I wasn't aware of it until after it was on. So like if I probably would have voted because I didn't have internet at home weirdly enough at that time. So I would have voted.
I would have been all over that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there is an IMDb for the new Clone High, and there's one episode listed, and it's called "Let's Try This Again." And it says this is the first episode where the clones get unfrozen and meet the new batch of clones that Principal Dr. Cinnamon J. Scudworth made. You're like, what?
Wait, his first name was Cinnamon?
Yes.
So it wasn't Wesley?
No. It was not Wesley. That was just the only name he could say for no reason.
He calls everyone Wesley. I don't know why.
Yeah, and it says Krista Miller's coming back, but she's not doing Cleopatra anymore.
I heard. I did. I saw that the other day. I saw that, so that was weird that she's not doing that.
Nicole Sullivan is still doing Joan of Arc though, which is great.
That's good.
Look, I am looking forward to this. There are some faces. Apparently, Michael Bolton's in that episode, and Mandy Moore.
Yeah. I remember Mandy Moore. The Mandy Moore episode.
They had the Christmas episode.
Yeah. With Snowflake Jake.
Yep. It was good stuff, I tell you. Good stuff. Such a good show.
Much like Futurama, if you don't get off this topic, we can talk about Clone High.
So for a while, yes. Well, do you have any more notes about Pretty in Pink that are not Ducky related, like all of mine seem to be?
One is, are Turkish prisons really that bad?
I do not have an answer to that question.
And so I can't remember what that was from. Oh yeah, and then too, like when her and Blaine were kissing for the first time, the cricket like Foley was like super loud. Did that stick out for you when the crickets were like super duper loud?
It did not, but also I thought it was like the worst kiss, and it was really super awkward. Like I don't think the two of them had any chemistry, and I think it was clearly shown, especially when they kissed each other. You're just like, ugh, that's not working.
Yeah. So for me, the cricket foley on that was like really really loud for some reason.
Yeah.
Or just stuck with me.
Sometimes people get really excited, or you know what it might be? They were trying to cover some other sound, and they're just like, put in more crickets. Crickets.
We forgot to get room tone for this, so cricket tone instead.
Cricket tone it is. Yeah, exactly. Why not? Whatever works. Okay.
She got Pretty Wound before Julia Roberts, because she like went to the store, and then there was obviously another hey, you're a poor person, so are you sure you want to make sure you're in the store? Yeah. So I was like, oh, so that's like that happened.
Yeah.
And then later on in the movie it says that she's 18, so that's why I was like, hey, how did she get into the bar and not him? So that's when you think that he was being nice to her and just let her in anyway.
They weren't that strict about IDs back then, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that too. I guess if you hire Andrew Dice Clay as your bartender or as your doorman, you get what you pay for, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then too, I have and then like the fight at the end is really similar to Too Fast Too Furious, where they got like one half decent punch off, and that was just them like kind of like fighting on the ground, which was actually like really close to one to be like really close to what that actual real life fight happens with two people who don't know how to fight.
Yeah, neither of them clearly had ever been in a fight before, and they're just like, I think this is what you do.
Yeah, so that made me think of because I just went through all the Fast and Furious movies again for some reason.
Well, didn't a new one just come out?
Or it's coming out soon, yeah. So I think that's probably what sparked in my brain, yeah. So I was like, hey, what the hell? I know they're not friggin' super great movies, but I do like them. They're friggin' stupid fun.
Yeah, they're not my cup of tea, but I did like Hobbs and I did like Hobbs and Shaw, but I'm really not into the rest of it.
Yeah. So I can totally understand why somebody doesn't like these movies. So like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, how can you not like them? Like, I totally get it. It's
there's I think both of us have like a lot of movies that we like have on like the top of our list that everybody's just like, look, I like these movies, I'm not recommending them to you, I just really like them. That's it. That's all that's happening here. They're like, yeah, but the movie's garbage. I'm like, I'm not saying no, I just like it.
I'm not, that's not the argument. I'm saying it's a good movie, it's just I like it.
Exactly.
When Paul Walker's character meets up with Tyrese for the first time. He's like talking to the cop. He's like, hey, just let things be things or whatever. He's like, hey, Tyrese or whatever. And then they just kind of get one good fight, punch off, and they're just kind of wrestling with each other on the ground. And I always thought that was funny because he was a cop and he's like a criminal, so there should be like a better fight.
I would have think so, yeah.
But it's the same thing. It was like one half decent punch, and then they're just kind of pawing at each other on the ground for a couple minutes, and they're like, hey, stop this or whatever.
So obviously I did not get that far into any of those movies because I don't remember that scene. Oh my god.
And the Too Fast is it's not one of the better ones, I guess, in the arc of those movies. In the arc of those movies.
No, for most people I know who really like those movies, they love Fast Five, I think it is.
It's like once because 4 is kind of like the soft reboot where they kind of just go from street racing to.
And everybody hates Tokyo Drift though. That's apparently agreed upon.
And then the 4 is when they kind of like do the soft reboot, and then I think this one 5 is when The Rock shows up, I think.
Okay. Yes.
So that's probably why. And then I went through those, like the lady from Game of Thrones showed up like later on in them than I thought.
There's a lady from Game of Thrones.
It's Dragon Lady's like number 2 lady. The black lady, or like Nathalie or whatever her real name was. Nathalie.
I know who you're talking about.
And she's like she's like the lady hacker in the Fast movies.
I know who you're talking about. Hold on. Let me find her.
She's
It's the girl who sits beside Cersei all the time, right?
Yeah.
She's cool. Yeah, it is Miss Sandy. Okay, I was right.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought
remember.
Miss Sandy was the Red Witch, but no, that's somebody else.
I could remember Game of Thrones character because like there's so many fucking names in those movies, and then like everyone had like 3 names, so it's like fuck this, I can't. I'm like I'm not. It'd be like that person. Okay, true. I get it. So, and I'm bad with names initially, so I was like, fuck it. I saw after like the first season and a half, I'm like, I'm not going to try anymore.
Yeah. No, it's like, there's so many characters in Game of Thrones in general. I just go by face. I don't know what most of their names are. Yeah. It's fine. I'm good. That's right. She was in Fast 9. Oh my god, there's that many of those movies.
The one that's coming out this year is the 10th, and then this and then they're Harry Potter in it, so it's like it's gonna be like a 2-parter.
Oh my god, Fast
and Jason Momoa is in this one.
Ugh.
and they're kind of tying it in with how they do things. They're kind of tying it back to the 5 because he just kept on saying they're gonna rob this guy, and you never actually saw him. And it just turns out it's him, I guess.
Oh.
So
look, I know you're trying to get me into this.
No, I'm not.
This is not a thing I'm gonna do.
I'm just saying what's happening because I'm not going to try and talk anybody who doesn't like these movies into them because, as I said, they're bad movies, but they're fun.
She's been in them since 7.
Yes,
so
yeah, 7. Yeah. So I thought it was like 4. I always said like 4 or 5 that she showed up.
Oh,
because Ludacris and Tyrese are like one of them. They're kind of like fighting over and stuff. So I thought it was earlier that they had like more movies before that happened, but apparently not.
Oh, all right. But yeah. Do you have anything else about Pretty in Pink?
Is she better not go with Ducky? So I was thinking, I was like right after you showed up, and she didn't.
I think she could just like leave them all, find somebody else in college.
Yeah.
Just ugh. They all suck.
And then Steph is in fact shit, which I think is Spader's character name. I think
Steph. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and then like, the one time Ducky doesn't suck. Oh yeah, then too, like freaking the original Buffy like showed up. Like was she in the movie the entire time, or did you just show up at the end?
Who?
Christy Swanson. Because like after
Christy Swanson showed up at the end.
Yeah, because she goes off with Blaine, and then Ducky then she shows up and she's like, "Hey, come with me," or whatever, and he's like, "Oh," and goes off with her. And it was
that was not Christy Swanson.
Yeah, 100% was Christy Swanson. Because I was like, how did I like? That must be the only scene. Because I was like, I don't remember her for the rest of the movie. And again, I didn't want to go back and watch it just to see if I saw her.
And so, according to IMDb, it was Christy Swanson, and her name they have is Duckette. I don't know what that. They didn't even give her a name. It's just Duckette. So I'm assuming that's who they're talking about. Yeah, but I did not realize it was Christy Swanson at all.
Yeah, because I was like, holy shit! I obviously recognize the main 3 and Terry Dean Stanton, and then she showed up. I was like, was she here the whole time? I just wasn't paying attention.
I don't think she was there the whole time, because even at the end too, when I saw her, I was like, did we meet this? Like, I was like, did we meet this person before? I was very confused.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So yes, I guess in my case, I don't feel bad for not seeing her then, because.
No, I didn't even realize it was Christy Swanson. So up on you, God. I was just like, where did this person come from? Why does she want Ducky all of a sudden? This is just weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I guess she like it was like she seemed like into him, whatever, because she was like walking by and doing like, hey, come with me or whatever.
Oh, this one isn't directed by John Hughes. He's only the writer.
Yeah,
maybe that's why it's odd.
Oh yeah, it's really cut and stuff.
Yeah, maybe that explains some of it. Because this is like the choppier of all of his movies. Oh, that was loud. This is the choppier of like all of his movies that I've rewatched. Like, because I've watched this recently, 16 Candles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and The Breakfast Club. They were all on TV. They had like a school day weekend or something like that. They were all on TV.
And does 16 Candles hold up? Because the only part I really remember is the part with the Asian guy. And even then, when I was watching as a kid, I'm like, this doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it's still not right. It's still super racist. And as an adult, you realize how like the situation she's put in and like everybody around her and even the boy that she likes, he's got a girlfriend and he essentially like gives his girlfriend to another guy who is like at least doesn't do anything and is nice to her, which is good. Like there's a lot of very questionable things that happen in that movie that as an adult you're just like, oh my god, that's so wrong. But as a kid you're just like, oh my god, they're having a party, it's so much fun, oh yay, you know, like that's all you think. But it's definitely like a story that like is together, unlike this one, which I found was super super choppy. So this probably explains why he didn't actually like direct it, so he probably wasn't in like the editing process and stuff like that.
So he's like, here, take my story and I'll go fucking do whatever. And he's like, what the fuck's this?
yeah who knows, maybe there's something in like the trivia section about like what he thinks about this movie. But no, I don't really like I said, most of my notes were complaining about Ducky.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was just like, I don't understand what's happening. What's up with this guy? That guy's creepy. Like that was it.
Yeah, no. So like watching this, I was like, why did everyone want her to go with Ducky for it? It does not make sense to me at all.
Yeah, no.
So tweet at us and answer listen why people want Ducky for.
Yeah,
like I don't get it.
Yeah, like if you're shipping, I don't even remember what their names are right now. If you're shipping Andy and Ducky, please explain to me why. Please just put it on my Twitter, whatever. Just let me know why you think Andy and Ducky should be together. Because after watching this movie, I don't get it. It makes no sense.
I know, especially like when I was said like this is probably the first time I did see it. Like his first thing he says was the pregnant thing. I'm like, this guy, and then he was like bopping down the hall with that fucking hat and the glasses. I'm like, this guy fucking sucks right off.
He sucks. Yeah. I mean, like if he like. I mean, the look for the 80s is kind of fun, but then he opens his... It kind of
works, but...
Yeah, but then he opens his mouth and you're just like, ew.
Yeah. You can tell he says that it was like tilted back and stuff, so he's definitely pushing it a little bit. Yeah, so he's like... I don't get it at all.
All right, so final thoughts. So final thoughts for Pretty in Pink and for Predator. What are you telling people to watch?
Oh, I definitely, as I said, like Predator is 100% my favorite Arnie movie. So if you haven't watched it, watch this movie. Like if you're listening to this and haven't watched it, I don't get it, but watch this movie if you haven't. Pretty Pink, and it can go either way because I think I'm like 42 when this is the first time I'll watch it, and I can safely say I'm probably not going to watch it again.
Yeah,
because as I said through this entire episode, Ducky sucks.
Ducky sucks. I have to agree with you. Like, if you're going to watch either of these movies, definitely watch Predator. See some really good action. See some really good scenes. Pretty in Pink, unless you're on like I have to watch every single Molly Ringwald movie or every single John Hughes movie, fine, watch it. But it could be like the last thing you go to at the end. Like, it's just not necessary.
Only if you feel like that you need to be a completionist, watch this movie. If not...
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, Adam, thank you so much for coming on this week and being part of the episode.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, I'll be back at some point at least. Hopefully, at least. I haven't talked myself out of being asked to come back yet. Yes, and I'm not just a guest host. I actually listen as well. I actually do like this podcast. So
thank you.
I'm not just saying that because I'm
not. It could be a reason why too. It's fine. It's good. Well, that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. Until next time, you can follow along on Instagram and Twitter at ohmyshelf, or you can send an email to ohmyshelf@gmail.com. On the next episode, we'll be talking about two princesses with Princess Bride and Princess Mononoke. Hope you'll be here to listen.